I did a video the other day talking about my experience eating some extremely juicy fruit. And if you have not watched that video, it's gonna be context for this one, so you may want to go watch that. But if you already watched it, I hate to make this another fruit analogy, but as they say, the Lord uses the foolish things to inform the wise. I don't know if that's what he said, but something along that line. Basically, there are lessons in the simple things too, and you just have to take it to mean what it means to you. Yes, so just a little preface. I had some fruits, they were amazing, but I wanted to let them stretch for as long as possible. I talked about the scarcity mindset behind that and just survival mode and trying to get through without feeling like you're being wasteful or like greedy or whatever it is, right? So I had got some of those same fruits today, and I said, okay, I experienced the scarcity side of it. Now let's go experience the abundance side. This is my way of saying I'm not going to allow what happened to me before to happen again. And so when I got these fruits, I went in. The first bite was amazing. I was like, okay, I could see myself eating a lot of this. About the third bite though, it wasn't as enjoyable because the fruit wasn't ready. And in this moment, I'm sitting there after questioning the entire day, what am I going to talk about? I smiled to myself because I got it. We don't want to wait until things are too far gone to enjoy them. In the case of the fruit, overripe. But we also don't want it to be premature because there's no enjoyment in that. Some people like their fruits hard. I'm not talking about those people, but I'm talking about when it's just not ripe enough for you to even get the essence of what it will taste like. As I sat there smiling, it reminded me of this story of a sea turtle. I don't know if you know it, but if you don't, sea turtles are normally born on the sand. And they have to crawl, when somebody say you're moving slow like a turtle. Okay. So they have to move as slow as they are and get to the ocean because that's the ultimate goal for where they're trying to go. And the reason why they were born there and they have to travel this distance is because they have to develop the muscles to be able to manage themselves in the sea world. As we say or don't say, it's a fish eat fish world down there, right? So they have to develop the muscle that is needed for them to survive. And on many occasions, a lot of them don't make it to the water, either because they meet some obstacle or they just run out of oxygen, or I don't know if it's oxygen, but they run out of whatever they were going to the water for, right? And some of them die because humans assist them. Humans take them up from the sand and put them in the water. And they still end up dying because they didn't develop the muscles to survive. This is an example of that prematurely getting the thing that you are going towards. And I'm sure by now you've guessed, I'm not just talking about fruits or sea turtles, but this applies to our careers, our relationships, our money, our businesses, and our personal growth overall. We want life to be this smooth horizon where we don't have problems. We just get to the goal and meet the target and live happily ever after. But in the sea turtle example, they were aided. They got the shortcut to go into the water and they died. They weren't prepared. They weren't ready. I have concluded that the reason why we go through every single thing in our life that we do is to prepare us for what we are to experience. Contrary to what you may believe, it's not punishment. It's not, I just don't want you to live a good life, aka said the universe or God, depends on your belief. But it's because we need to develop our muscles. We need the fortitude, we need the resilience, we need the patience, we need some experience under our belts. Everything that I talk about on my channel, especially now, well, forever, and especially now on my 119 days journey, is something that I went through in the past. I had to go through every single experience. The reason why I'm able to understand these ideas through stories is because that's how I grew up. In my household, everything my dad said to me was through a parable. And since I got older, I asked him one day, why is everything a parable with you? And he said his mom didn't explain anything to him. Everything was in way more parables. And I said, that's even more reason for you to explain. But as I've grown older, I understand a lot of these things. You know, when I was younger, my dad used to say, if you wanted to tell me that whatever I'm doing was going to lead to a consequence, he would say, this is the Jamaican version of it, fire there must steal him think a cool breeze. Which basically English means, fire is behind you. Wait. Yes, fire is behind you, but you think it's breeze. It basically means you think what you're doing is going to get a good result, but the truth is it's not, but you just don't know because it's masked. Just like when I took the first bite in the fruit, it was very soft, and then by the third bite I'm realizing, okay, I'm not going to enjoy it. It's that same thing, right? And so I'm understanding these things, these parables, through my own experiences, because you just have to experience things to really know it for yourself. He very well could have explained it to me, but I had to have my own experiences for me to understand it, for it to land, for it to really stick, and for me to be like, okay, I get what you mean now, okay? One of the other ones he always said was, you're going to hit the wall. You know, probably if I was just not listening or something, and it means, or if you don't stop doing this, you're going to hit the wall. The wall is a consequence, which everything in life has consequences. But back on track, I was just explaining why I get these ideas through stories, because that's just how I was taught a lot of things. So it's easy for me to relate to these things. But it's also because it has a deeper meaning. This is not about fruits or sea turtle. It's about us wanting to get to the promised land. Whatever that is for you, is for us wanting to get to that ultimate level of success and wanting to get to that place where we feel free and like we don't have that every burden. And you know, whether that's financial freedom, you never have anything to worry about when it comes down to your finances. You can go in the grocery store and buy everything you want, and you never have to check your bank account before you go up to the line. You don't have to take anything out of your card. You don't have to, you know, worry about the simple things. You don't have to be checking your balance every second to just not have your your card declined, right? Whether it's time freedom, you can go wherever you want without having to be conformed to a 9-to-5 job or anything that's keeping you bound. You know, maybe it's location freedom. You can work from anywhere in the world and get to travel and do whatever you want. Whatever that promised land is for you, I know you want to get there. I have my moments where I feel like, why hasn't it happened yet too? So you're definitely not alone in this. But just like I've learned in this sea turtle example and this fruit example, too long is not great. You know, we definitely have to enjoy life in the moments that we have it. But prematurely is just as detrimental. Things have to happen in the right timing. The timing is so important to the process because it helps us to mature, it helps us to prepare, it helps us to become able, it helps us to develop the capacity to receive the things that we want or the things that we desire, right? The truth of the matter is, if your goal is more money does not come without more stress, unfortunately. So yes, you are trying to do the things to get the more money, but it's also like until you get to a certain level, it's gonna be a stressful experience, and you have to develop your capacity now to be able to manage that experience when it comes. Because there's always a hidden cost to everything. You're getting one thing, but there's something that you didn't sign up for that is coming with it in a package, right? And so it's all for our good to just endure through the process, learn what we need to learn, pay attention to the experience, and not try to live our lives in extremes, right? Nothing in extremes is going to be the goal. The goal is always balance, and balance looks different in every season for everybody. So I can't tell you what that looks like for you, but it's just living your life, living your life in the moments, and enjoying those experiences, and not trying to rush through. Not trying to rush through to get anything, but you're also not just allowing life to just pass you by. So you're enjoying the moments when you have those moments to enjoy, and you're also allowing things to develop, right? So that you're not prematurely you're not prematurely experiencing things and missing out on the fullness of it. So I know my fruit stories may seem silly, but I promise you, if you listen to the deeper message, it will connect the way it connects for me. I hope that's my hope with making this video, that it does connect with you in that way, because there is so much things that we go through in life and we don't have an answer for it. We don't know why this has to be our story. We don't know what is it developing in us in the moment. But hindsight is 2020, as they say. When you go through and you become that version of yourself that you don't even know was possible presently, and you start to look back, you can see, I needed to go through that. That experience taught me so much. It made me into the person that I am today. Have you ever said any of these things? Let me know in the comments, because these are the things that we don't recognize in the moments, but this is actually what it does, right? This is actually the muscle building process while we're going to the ocean and going to our promises and the things that we do desire. So if you feel like you're in a standstill moment right now where you're just like, I don't know what this is doing for me right now, think about this sea turtle experience and even the fruits, and think about the fact that they just need the right time to develop, just like you need the right time to develop all your skills, your strengths, your capacity, and all your hard and soft skills, so that when you get there you can be better for it and you can experience it with all fullness and not feeling like you're not prepared. Okay, so I hope this video was helpful and informative, and I hope it translates to you as you go about your week. And if it does, it probably will do that for somebody else too. So give it the video a like so that it can reach more people, and share it with anybody that you know personally who could benefit from this as well. If you're new to my channel, welcome. Thank you so much for joining me, and thank you so much for sticking around, my loyal subscribers. And yeah, if you have not yet subscribed and you're watching, please consider subscribe. I'd love to have you in the family. We talk all things investing in you here. And yeah, so like, subscribe, comment, share, and follow me on all social media platforms at Khrista-Lee. That's Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. And I will see you in my next video tomorrow. Let's go make some mistakes. Bye.